Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
Also during this period of the 1950s, an entity named Ashtar, who claims to be from outer space, began deliberately contacting certain individuals by means of channeling, telepathy, trance mediums, and even Ouija boards. And this entity named Ashtar was offering salvation and an assortment of other amazing things to humankind in the 1950s. Now, Ashtar claims to be orbiting the Earth in a huge spaceship. He ranks himself Commander-in-Chief of the Free Federation of Planets. Sounds like something out of a Star Trek movie. Ashtar has recently written a book channeled through a New York businessman titled The New World Order that focuses on astounding predictions regarding the future of humanity. Now let's look at some Old Testament Bible verses. Judges in particular will start. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and served Baalim. And they forsook the Lord God of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods, the gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Lord to anger. And they forsook the Lord, and served Baal and Ashtaroth. Now down here in Judges again. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and served Balaam and Ashtaroth, and the gods of Syria, the gods of Zidon, the gods of Moab, the gods of the children of Ammon, the gods of the Philistines, and forsook the Lord and served not him. Ashtaroth, and you can see here there were a lot of other gods here, and also in Samuel. Put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth from among you. And the children of Israel did put away Balaam and Ashtaroth and served the Lord only. Now, the similarity in the spelling of these two names, Ashtar and Ashtaroth, in my opinion, is not a coincidence. I believe we're dealing with the same entity. So now we have this Ashtar, or Ashtaroth, an Old Testament false deity who is linked to today's UFO phenomenon. Now, we saw in Matthew 24, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Well, in the 1950s, certain contactees claimed that they were in contact with some of these extraterrestrials, so-called extraterrestrials. And in 1952, a contactee named George Van Tassel, who died in 1978, claimed that he received telepathic messages from more than 20 of these so-called extraterrestrials, including Ashtar, in the Mojave Desert in California. Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Subsequently, telepathic contact with the Ashtar command occurred regularly in the years to follow. Now, the Ashtar command boasts many great fleets of spaceships occupied by thousands of well-organized ranks of extraterrestrials. And one of its missions includes the evacuation of selected human souls during cataclysmic events that are soon to occur on Earth. Sounds like a rapture scenario. Now, the Ashtar command has associates, 4 in particular, and 2 of the associates, or some of the extraterrestrials that are supposedly ranked higher, are Soltec and Monka. And these pictures are circulating the internet or New Age bookstores. 2 other associates involved with the Ashtar command, or Ashtaroth, are Corton and Athena. Now, that's an interesting name. Athena has been recognized as the ancient Greek goddess, the gods of the Old Testament. Now, Athena claims to be a commander of the starship of Sananda. Okay, well, who is Sananda? Sananda claims to be one of the highest ranked extraterrestrials and is often referred to as the beloved commander-in-chief of the Ashtar command. However, Sananda's main claim to fame is that he claims to be the historical Jesus Christ. He's also recognized as the Master Jesus. And we're going to see how these masters fit into this UFO scenario. But as you can see, they've taken an historical picture of Jesus Christ that has probably been in thousands of churches throughout the world, and they've attached this name Sananda. So they believe that the historical Jesus Christ is an extraterrestrial. Now, at this present time, and at an alarming rate, Sananda, Ashtar, Ashtaroth, members of the Ashtar command, and legions of other so-called extraterrestrials are channeling messages regularly through thousands of light workers and other human individuals or groups of individuals who today are devoted to New Age ideologies and UFO organizations. Now, I mentioned the word light workers. If you go to any New Age bookstore or read any New Age book, you'll see this term often. Light workers are New Age disciples devoted to the undertaking of this spiritual assignment on Earth, known as the divine plan, which I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. This divine plan is a spiritual reorganization of the planet. And we're going to see how they're attempting to do this. Now let's go back to the 1950s once again. And as I said before, the 1950s was a very important decade. UFO sightings were occurring at an alarming rate. Thousands, millions of people around the globe witnessed a variety of objects in the skies. This object, this picture here was taken over Texas. It's known as the Lubbock Lights. It's a famous UFO picture. This was taken in Oregon, Salem, Oregon. And these pictures have been circulating for years, instilling in our minds that maybe we are being visited by so-called extraterrestrials. Now, I mentioned the contactee, George Van Tassel, and his contacts with Ashtar and the Ashtar command in the Mojave Desert in California. Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Well, let me define the word contactee. A contactee is a person who claims to have recurring physical and telepathic contact of a friendly nature with so-called extraterrestrials, as opposed to an abductee. I'm sure we're familiar with the term abductee. People who claim they are taken against their will. Well, these contactees, or these contacts in the 50s and 60s, were of a friendly nature. Now, during the 50s, there were other contactees who stepped forward, claiming contact with these supposed extraterrestrials in the Mojave Desert.